Yes, I have a disability. But am I my disability or is my disability me? I am Esther, and the disability will be there, but I am so much more. What drew me into advocacy and um, using my life as a way for others to see that they can overcome anything um, with a change in mindset was because of the things that I experienced and wanting to ensure that no one experiences the same things based on their inability to see themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Shed. Welcome to Accessibility Now, a podcast where we talk about disability rights in the state of Georgia and beyond. Today, we have a special episode where the Associate Director of the Statewide Independent Living Council of Georgia, Ester DuRante, will be sharing her story with us. She wanted to talk about her path to becoming an advocate and what it means to her. So here's Esther.
Several things created um, a disability for me. When I was younger, I was, how kids play and things like that, but I was playing with my cousins and I got hit in the head with a brick. And it's like, I think I was about 7 or 8. Um, and I would burst my head open, and it's just several traumatic things that happened from the inability to speak and how I was changed. Like the way my brain functioned, the way I was able to see, the way I spoke, the way I heard things, was like I was underwater. Um, and that whole experience, we lived 30 minutes away from the hospital, and I could remember the fear on my mom's face, the fear on my brother's face, the the way in which the doctors were talking to my mom, how I wasn't given any pain medication. I just remember the needle coming to my face and I can't scream. So, and I remember those things. So as I got older, my life just changed basically from that time, from that time, my life changed. I know what it's like to not be able to use your voice, to be stuck in your head, but you can feel everything around you and you can't do anything about it. And everyone is going to make decisions for you. And those decisions are based on where they are. And some of those decisions are, they feel is in your best interest, but they don't always show up in that way. So yeah, that's the goal, is to empower people to acknowledge what's going on in the inside. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I was changed into a person that would do anything just to be understood, I guess. My speaking, how I'm able to interpret what's being said to me. I was told I was autistic, but I'm just like, is it really, like, did it come from that? Was I there before? Like, what created this? You know? So it just left me with a lot of question marks. Um, how I went from a person that would read everything to words just floating on the paper because it's like they're screaming at me almost. So yeah, it left a scar on me, most definitely, visible as well as an emotional scar, a physical. Um, it left scars. So yeah, absolutely. We did not have support. And that support, I can tell you that even explaining the way in which things were, how my mom was treated when she was trying to explain, like, to give me something so she could see the fear. So I think that There was no support, but it taught me to be mindful of those around me that behave in that same way. It taught me to be mindful of the support that says that is a word and the support that's in action. And so no, we didn't have the support that we needed. And I'm thankful that some people get that support. But and I'm also thankful that where I've come to because of the things that or the way in which I interpreted my experience. Like, yes, it was painful. Yes, I won't deny that it was painful. Thinking about it, I can still see those things happening. But it changed me. It could have changed me for the worse, but it changed me in a way where I could feel everything around me, everything. And that include emotions, are emotions around me. So yeah. I think I had to understand what I needed before anyone around me could support me because it was almost as if the injury didn't happen. It was just go when it was just move along, just keep going. And for that, there's no room for the support that I needed. So later on, I was saying college, just telling the advisors of how my brain worked, or like I don't feel like I'm like what's being said to me and what I'm reading, I don't understand, or like that connectivity I needed. So not really in the way in which you're like that peer support. That's what you're asking about. No, not like that until I got into um I started teaching, so I love that. But I saw that I was able to support them. And then I saw like the connection between myself and them, if that makes sense. So once I got into the silk and I started volunteering, I could see the connection between people that had auditory processing, or people that had delayed speech, or people that were trapped in their heads because of their circumstances. I felt a sense of belonging, a connectivity that I didn't have before. Shelly and I became friends in 2018 after I had enrolled in a master's doctorate program. Shortly after that, a bucket, something really heavy fell on the back of my head, and I had a major concussion, and I had to withdraw from school. So I was feeling, yeah, we ended up becoming friends through that, and her like, okay, well, maybe the support. That was the support. Her telling me that she understood and getting me to talk about what I was feeling. And it was like a mutual thing. So yeah, it was like a whole new world opened up for me. I found a sense of peace in a way, that a connectivity that I I could understand myself a little bit better through understanding others, through being there for others and actually listening to their story, and giving them like like I'm big on watering people, or like motivating them based on what I see. So that gave me that empowerment to live. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know if you remember one day in the office, where she was like telling me to go ahead and say something. And I was like, no, because I would bring ideas to her, and she didn't she didn't tell me one day, because she did tell me, she was like, I don't know if I'll be able to explain that in the way that you did because you see it differently. But she empowered me to not tell someone else my idea, but to speak it out loud. And once I started doing that, I remembered something about myself that I had forgotten. I forgot that I've always been hopeful and vocal about becoming who you are. So that day in the office, she was like, "Well, Esther's going to tell you guys something that we're going to be working on and doing differently in the office." And I was looking at her like, "Whoa, no, I'm not." But it was the door. It was the door that I needed that I didn't know I needed, you know? So she didn't limit me based on where I was using other people's perceptions of who I was to limit myself. She was basically seeing my potential and speaking life to it like I was doing to everybody else. And I didn't know I needed that. She watered my garden when I needed it. And I couldn't ask for anything more. My approach to advocacy is I see people's potential. I feel like I think about where I was and focusing on what I couldn't do for so long to the point where it put me in a cage. So once I was given that key to unlock the cage, I saw what was around me and something, whatever, like the things that I did at home, we work on the emotional wheel. And my dad used to talk about this as well. It's like how you feeling basically will show up in your behavior. So, I'm a science girl. So E equals MC squared, right? In constant motion comes up with whatever picture or whatever behaviors we have. Motion, energy in motion, which is behavior. So I use people's potential. I speak life to it. And whatever we can do, I focus on their potential and help them see their potential more so than their disability because life has already told them what they're unable to do. But what Shelly taught me is to make sure that give myself the same tools that I was giving everybody else is see my potential, live by walking in my potential without limiting myself to what my disability says I can do. If that makes sense, is yes, I have a disability. But am I my disability or is my disability me? I am Esther. And the disability will be there. But I am so much more. So that's how I use my life. I use the things that hurt me for my good. I turn it around like, yeah, it hurt me in the past. It's not hurting me right now. You know, it's a give and take because I'm open to receiving what I'm learning, then I'm able to grow. We see a lot of 80-year-olds that's stuck in a 9-year-old mindset because they never moved past their traumas. So yes, I'm able to grow because I'm open to receiving more, what the universe has for me, because I know that there's a purpose here. If you see something that needs to be changed or could be better, or you see someone that needs help, I think being an advocate means one, freedom of choice is providing me with the tools and others around you with the resources and tools, not just for tangible things, but the tools to make an informed decision because they have all the tools. Now they just have to assess their own need to know how to utilize those tools to do what they want to do. Because essentially, that's what it's about. So advocacy is freedom of choice, that you provide me with the tools, you show up as your best self, allow me to do the same without judgment or biases, then I'm able to grow beyond where I've been or where others have shown me that I had to be or I could only be, you know? Yeah, absolutely. Please advocate by all means. If we all did it, I think the world would be so much better. Takeaways are being the best version of yourself daily is the best thing you can do. I know that providing my kids with um with an understanding of how their emotions, their feelings create whatever they are experiencing. So taking a moment to acknowledge where they are, accept where they are without fighting it. That way they can notice themselves in every moment and not blame or project out their feelings onto everyone. I think that that is the the greatest joy I have of being a parent, but also of being in this because to me it's not about a title, it's not about where you work. It is about being on purpose, knowing that we're all born for a purpose, whatever that is. And in understanding that, I know that there's has never been anyone before me with me, like with this mentality, with this mindset as Esther. There is no one other than me in this way right now. And once I'm gone, there will never be another Ester DuRante, ever. So while you're here, you might as well live on purpose. Feel with whatever the purpose is without allowing anybody to break that. Walking and living and just being on purpose. Understanding that we all are one of one. There is no comparison. There shouldn't be any comparison other than who we were yesterday. Just constantly becoming better as people. So that's what I bring to the table. And it's not the conventional thing, but to me, it's what humans need. Yeah, it's so that's the takeaway. That's what I would like to leave you with is my brain doesn't work like everybody else's.